Hey, what's up? I'm Jay Moss, and today we're going to talk about a new pedal from Balaguer. I thought it was Balaguer or something. Check this out. I was just talking to the rep, and you can see that? He is like... I had to have him like phonetically let me know, because I've been saying it wrong. So this pedal's pretty cool. So think of this like 2 amps almost in one. When you're on vintage, it's modeled after like the orange OR series. Those are highly coveted. They're really warm, super British. They're awesome. I've played them on tour and I love them. And then on the modern setting, that's gonna be more like your, I guess it's funny to call a 5150 a modern amp since it's so old, but it's gonna be like more of like your modern tones. It's gonna be like tighter, just like more chig chig chig, whereas the ORs move like rob rob rob. Both are cool. Like if you're like into like doom metal, doom rock, slower stuff, like the vintage settings probably gonna be great. But if you're gonna be doing like a ton of tremolo picking, or like you just want like that more like tight sound, then modern, that's gonna be the way to go. And what's cool and a little bit different about this pedal is that you've got your pre, post, and master all are gain on top. And you're gonna think about it just like you would think about it on an amp, right? Except in this case, you kind of have control over your power tube section, and that can be a little bit trickier depending on the amp. So your pre is gonna be like your preamp tubes, right? Your 12AX7s. That's where the distortion typically starts in the chain of an amp. Oh, here comes the wife. Hey, babe.
Hi.
What's up? Filming. Do you want to learn about this pedal?
Sure.
All right, wife's here. Special guest appearance.
I'm coming for this.
What? You don't want to be in the shot? So I was explaining to the people that this has 3 gain stages.
What's gain?
It's what makes it go.
Right.
So this one is the pre-stage. It's not very loud, but it makes it really distorted. This one is the post stage, like in a real amp. There's preamp tubes. Those are little, people. Are you following me? Those are little, and so they're easier to drive. And because they're easier to drive, they break up the sound way quicker, except they're not very loud. So you need a post gain stage. This is your post gain stage. This is what this represents. And those ones are super loud. Those are usually EL34s, 6L6, there's other variants. But those are way harder to make distort. So it's that combination of little tubes that you can kind of like overdrive really easily, and then big tubes, which get really, really loud, that are cool. And then the final thing, this is basically just volume. This one that says master, that's like, you like what you got messing with these, this is the volume at which that sound will come out. All right, that's all. How's your day?
Great.
Good. All right. There you go, a little lesson, little guest appearance from the missus. After that, you just got bass, treble. If you don't know what those are, not good. So there's not much else to do. Let's plug her in and check her out. Oh yeah, today we're gonna be using my favorite amp on the Class A side. So this is a Bad Cat Lynx. This is like kind of 2 amps in one. It's actually kind of ironic, kind of 2 amps in one as well. So the side we're gonna be using is literally just 2 knobs, volume and tone is just a bass roll-off switch. So all of these other knobs are irrelevant. The reason I wanna use that part of this amp is because it's got the least amount of its own coloration, and you'll be able to hear really like what the pedal is doing. Okay, so here's the tone. This is just the tone of the amp. It's a little dark. We're recording through a Royer 121, a ribbon, out of a Mesa. So it's not surprising that it's a little bit dark, but that's cool because I think we're gonna be able to fix all that anyway. So here we go, let's do some settings. Let's start with vintage. All right, so this is, if you can see, so that is vintage. All the knobs are at noon. I think it sounds really, really good. That's such a cool tone. Like, you see what I'm saying with the vintage is not overly articulate, but it's just like dirty. And like when you're not doing super complex things, it just kind of rules. All right, we're gonna leave all the knobs right where they are. I'm not gonna pick it up again. We're just gonna flip it over to modern. Let's hear it. So that's way different, right? That it's thinner, it's tighter. So my first thought on that one is let's add some bass to the Modern. Damn, little goes a long way. Sounds really good. I really like this pedal. All right, now we're going back to vintage mode, except this time our pre is all the way down and our post is all the way up. Man, that thing sounds great. This is the other way around. This is pre all the way up, post all the way down. I just kind of want to like, so you guys can, I just want so you can hear the differences. That's by far the least articulate and kind of muddy. Let's back off a little bit of bass, let's add a little top. That becomes so usable now. It's awesome. I really like this. I know I keep saying that. This is so good. This is the Modern mode with the pre all the way down and the post all the way up. Oh, and the EQs are zeroed out. I really like this setting. Pre-down, post-crank sounds really good to me. It's maybe my favorite one so far. Again though, this Modern I think could use a touch of low end. Cool, a little wimpy. Like so far I'm liking the vintage on that mode better. Let's add some pre. All right, this is with like 25% pre. Yeah, you can see how much that pre really helps. Let's bring the pre back up to 12 o'clock. Again, this is on Modern. It's cool. Now with that pre pushed, the bass got a little farty. Yeah, sounds so good. Dude, I think for me, my setting is vintage mode. Yeah, I think vintage mode with just some extra high end. When every other knob at 12. See, this sounds awesome because it's different, right? Like I already have a 5150. This pedal in this mode to me sounds kind of unique. Like it would be tricky for me to get this exact tone without this pedal for sure. Sounds like it's like ripping, like I'm super into it. Let's do it with some drums. This thing is straight nasty. All right, so that was the big boy sludge chords on vintage. I'm just gonna add a quick lead. Let's use Modern for that. I think it'll work. Okay, so I added just a little bit of delay just for effect, and we'll just rip a lead over this, but I like this, like, tight, it's cool. Great. I just keep saying great, but it's great. So there's literally a bass sitting right there. We gotta try, right? This sounds really good on bass. So that's on Modern. Oh, dude. How stoner is that? Oh, I don't know which one I like. So like, all right, so this is Modern with a little bit more low. That's cool. Let's add even more. That's pretty rad. Let's toss this Modern one. Should we add more gain? Yeah, right? That's like with pre and post, like 1 o'clock. I think it sounds good. Let's do this. That ruled. I know you're like, there's no way this guy is this excited, but I am. It's awesome. All right, let's do the same thing on vintage just to kind of check it out. Oh, I don't know. I might like this better. It's like awesome. Took some liberties with the scale. Wrong notes aside, this is awesome. I actually really recommend this pedal. I'm gonna be using this all the time now, I think. So there you go. There's a glowing review, but it's really honest. I ain't getting money or anything for this. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't even really know what else to say. It's like, good gear just does what that does, which is it's really hard to make it sound bad. This is the same reason I choose like my Bad Cat, and it's the same reason I choose almost every piece of gear I have. Like, this is actually slightly more diverse in its tonal abilities than most of my favorite gear, because most of my favorite gear does one thing like really, really well, better than anything else. And I would say that this does, it kind of has 2 party tricks, and they're both really good. Personally, I'm a little bit more stoked on the vintage just because it's a color that I don't have as readily accessible. So it's funny because I would probably use the vintage mode on maybe like less records, but I would be more excited when I did get to use it. All right, with that, I am Jay Moss. I hope you learned something, and check out the pedal. Adios.